Anyway, so this next topic I'm going to talk about is about staking. Is staking fair? You might be thinking, what the hell is staking? What are you talking about? Well, if you have watched anything that I've put out there, you know that Bitcoin is a proof of work coin. That means that in order to solve a block, you have to deploy hardware that solves a very difficult mathematical problem. And when it does, it then earns a reward for solving that block in the form of Bitcoin. And so that's what mining is all about. It's just deploying thousands of specialized computers that are good at solving this mathematical problem and deploying them into, to make money, to earn Bitcoin. So that's work. Okay, what is required in order to do this? Well, you must buy the machine. You must have equipment. Number two, you must have electricity. You must have access to electricity so that you can run the machine. So this is work. Okay, this is no different than gold. All right, in order for gold to be produced, somebody has to locate it. They have to survey the land, figure out where it might be, go do some testing, confirm that it is there, make guesstimates on how much is there, do some math and do some projections, and we think, well, this is how much gold is there. Here's the current price of gold right now, so if we deploy X dollars into digging up the gold, we can earn Y dollars and therefore have a profit of Z. So that is work. That is what is required to create any other currency in the world except fiat, except proof of stake. Proof of stake is the same thing as I just described with Bitcoin mining, but instead of solving a difficult mathematical problem, work, you just need to hold a bunch of the coin already. So do you not see how this is already disadvantageous for most people? It's like, okay. And by the way, proof of staking rewards those who hold more money. So the more you have, the more you generate. It's literally just it's finance. It's global finance with the veneer of blockchain and cryptography. It's garbage. It's unfair. And by the way, and let's talk about Ethereum specifically. Okay, I know there's an F ton of proof of stakes out there, but there's really only two networks in my mind. There's Bitcoin and there's Ethereum, and then the rest of it's just never going to make it, never going to do anything, except maybe Polygon. That's my only other exception, maybe. But I could be wrong. Hey, I can't predict the future. Who knows what's going to happen? But proof of stake just advantages those who already have that already have a ton. All right. And so in the case of Ethereum, you have a coin who started off as proof of work, but had an ICO. Okay, and that stands for initial coin offering. Okay, that's kind of like before a stock goes public, you got a bunch of VC venture capital insiders who get to buy up a bunch of stock or ownership of the company at very ridiculously discounted rates, so that when the company does go public, they are given shares equivalent to their early contributions. This is like that. That's what an ICO is, and that's what proof of stake is. It's just a public forward-facing version of that. So anyone could spin up an Ethereum node and stake Ethereum and start earning on it. But you know what the minimum requirement is to stake Ethereum on a node? It's 32 ETH. 32, and they're talking about raising it. How much is 32 Ethereum right now? Right now. Okay, we're not talking bull market. We're in a bear market. How much is 32 ETH? It's $54,000 at today's price. People were spinning up nodes back in the summer of 2021. Ethereum was like $4,000 or $5,000. Right now, it's only $1,600, so $1,700. So you got to have $4,000 just to spin up one node. And I learned from my buddy at the job site that he's earning 0.1 Ethereum a year. Dude, when I was mining Ethereum, I was making 0.1 ETH a week, or actually, I think it was a month. Sorry, I think it was 0.1 in the height. I think it was 0.1 ETH per month. But he's making 0.1 ETH a year, is what he said. What's the point? What's the point? It's just you're playing with a bunch of stupid toys that have been invented by bros that are just trying to get rich and rug your ass, when they get the first opportunity to do so. It makes no sense. And here's the other problem I have with staking, proof of stake. All you're doing is giving government state development. You're just giving them the mechanism to quickly develop and implement a CBDC. And there's a lot of speculation from a lot of people. I don't know if I buy it, but A lot of speculation from people that Ethereum, the USDT, and other things like that will actually be utilized in the implementation of a CBDC in the United States. So, it's just like, look, there's an answer. It was the first answer. It was deliberate. It was on purpose. It was as if it was the second coming of Christ because it was that perfect and that immaculate of a conception. It's Bitcoin. It solves everything that is needed to be solved, and it doesn't add a bunch of garbage on top of that to make a bunch of techno crypto bros happy because it adds utilities for their projects. Like, that shit. This is too important for us to up. It's too important for us to up and screw up the consensus algorithm, or make it unfair for people, especially in struggling parts of the world like Africa, one of the most rapidly adopting Bitcoin countries in the world, or continents in the world. We can't this up. So it's like we got to stop this. And by the way, on this topic, I wanted to actually pull up this website. It's called Ultrasound Money. This is a site that's been tracking what Ethereum has been doing ever since the merge. I think ever since the merge. I don't think it's been any earlier than that. Maybe it was earlier than that, or maybe it is now. So as you can see, right now Ethereum is actually inflating over the last 30 days. Okay, this is just over the last 30 days, but it is inflating right now, and the inflation rate is low. But the thing about this is that you cannot predict whether or not Ethereum's supply rate's going up or going down. And I'll prove it. Ready? Those are 30 days. Now this is 380 days. So we went from up 0.22% to being down 0.22% in 380 days. And as you can see, this is the path that is taken in that time. This is the merge. So this is when Ethereum went proof of stake from proof of work and kicked everybody, including me, off of the network from mining it. And as you can see, in the early days after the merge, it was going up. And so I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, okay, so it's still inflationary, just less so. But then it actually went like full deflationary here, and it was like, oh, okay, wow, that's pretty steep. This was just a few months ago, back in May. I'm not sure what was causing that. Was there an NFT project out there? I don't know. But then as you can see, it bottomed out, and now we're on the uptick again. So it's just like, it's unpredictable. It's just fiat. It's fiat with blockchain veneer on it. That's all it is. It's the dollar in blockchain form, made by some guy that carries fuzzy dinosaur purses around with him and rolls his pants up to his knees and snorts like a 21-year-old college kid. You know what I mean? Just like this is what you're excited about. This is a joke. This is a joke. Although I do have to say, whoever made this website, this is slick. This is a slick website. I gotta say, this is dope. It's not as cool as MemSpace, but it's still pretty cool. Like, this is the Ethereum's equivalent of it's a great little website. I have to say, whoever made this, like, kudos. Good job. It looks amazing. Oh, and let's go back even further, I think. Yeah, that's right. You can go back further now. So you can see the inflation rate was pretty steep here from, I think this is EIP 1559 right here. So this is when they started burning ETH to slow down the growth, but it didn't really slow it that much. And then, 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. So that's it. That's all we got. But so yeah, and by the way, you can simulate proof of work. This is kind of cool. So you can see what the difference would be. So the blue line here is where it's at now, and this is where it would be if it had never gone to proof of stake and it stayed on proof of work. So you can see the inflation is like 3.5%. So yeah, it's definitely a big change in terms of its tokenomics, but it's not a hard schedule. It's a flexible schedule. It depends on a bunch of various economic factors and drivers. Bitcoin does not. Bitcoin is like, we're minting this much every 4 years, period, end of story, until 2140, and then there will be no more. And you can't change it. You'll never change it. It will never be different. You can predict the inflation of Bitcoin, or lack thereof, all the way to infinity, and it will never change. It'll never change at all. So there you go. That's my thoughts and feelings about proof of stake. Oh, and there's one last thing I forgot to mention. 51% attack. Proof of work cannot be attacked by a nation state. Bitcoin cannot be taken over by a nation state. I don't even think an alien civilization could take over Bitcoin. But this proof of stake stuff, I could totally see how they'd be able to do that. In the dark of night, or in some remote data center that's being built in the middle of Nevada, they just spin up a F ton of Ethereum tokens, or spin up a bunch of Ethereum nodes on a bunch of VMs running on massive beefy servers, and they just slowly accumulate Ethereum during a bear market like now, just slowly buying it up, buying it up, buying it up, buying it up, and then one day just deploy, I don't know, just whatever half of the Ethereum supply is. What is that, 60 million tokens? And because it's fiat, because it's dollars, and they could be printed out of thin air, they can just buy as much as they want. And then they can spin up all the nodes they want. There's no limit to how much money they can spend, how much fiat money they can spend to pull off a 51% attack. And they're not limited by anything on this. They're not limited by silicon. They're not limited by energy. Okay? With Bitcoin, it's impossible because there's not enough electricity in the world for a government to do this. There's not enough silicon in the world, or in the universe, for somebody to do this. Okay? It's impossible. But with this, it's easy. Ethereum could be completely and totally hijacked by the United States government, by China, by Russia. They could do it. Any fiat currency out there could do it if they had the resources, which most of them do, because all you need is you just need some computers. You need some servers, and you can spin up 1,000 VMs on a single computer. If it's a beefy ass, server style computer, and then boom, you're done. So I don't like proof of stake. To me, it just feels like it's global finance with the veneer of blockchain. It's the same decrepit system implementing a new technology, trying to make it look all cool and flashy and stuff. And it's just like, this is stupid. We got Bitcoin. We got what we need.